Peace and blessings. Moon Goddess Ambrosia, the Fifth Force Oracle, is tapping in to share the Cosmic Oracle reading of Evolution. I am Kin 181, the Rare Crystal Dragon, and I dedicate in order to nurture universalizing being. I seal the input of birth with the crystal tone of cooperation. I am guided by the power of space. Ashe, Ashe, and Ashe Yo. And give thanks to the Aligning with the Cycles platform. Shout out to M.I.M.E.C and Synchronistic Hueman, School of Enlightenment, and Moon Goddess and the Healing Arts. I'm thankful to be a part of these communities as I share my divine blessings and gifts as a oracle reader and then some. And so we're going to jump right into the reading for this plasma by introducing and inviting you all to the mindset of a synchronaut. I like to share this piece as a perspective for understanding how the cosmic oracle readings work. And so the mindset of the synchronaut is based on us seeing ourselves as living expressions of divine synergy and motion. So the Destiny Oracle helps us to align ourselves with the fact that we are multidimensional, which as we synergize these energies, we get to live in the full expression of our divinity, as well as remembering our divine purpose on earth to consciously create and fulfill our soul's mission in all spaces of time. So this means that the more that we tap into um, our awareness that we are this divine synergy in motion, it helps us to remember our divine purpose, what we came here to do, and to be able to operate in this frequency to create and fulfill our mission, to share our art and the things that we're creating in our experiences through our purpose. And so that is the mindset that I invite you all to look at it from. Basically, it's also seeing yourself as an astronaut or I want to say the driver of your physical vessel, and you're navigating through the cycles, the natural cycles of time. And so with that, I have put together the Synchronized Navigation Map, which can be used to look at the different cycles that we are evolving through. So what I have presented here just reflects the three kins of the plasma. Yesterday plasma kin 192, today's plasma kin, which is kin 193, and then tomorrow's kin, which is kin 194. Also, I have the moon that we're in, the heptad, as well as the plasma information that we're connecting with as well. And so I know that um, prior to me coming on to share the Cosmic Oracle reading, a lot of this information was reviewed and shared with you all to let you know where we currently are in the cycle. And so the main thing that I do want to point out is that this heptad that we've been evolving through, the white heptad, is helping us to ripen the knowledge that we have accumulated throughout this moon so far, and be able to meditate on it and look at different ways that we could refine the way that we are operating. And so specifically in this heptad, it's been encouraging us to purify ourselves so that we can send out pure love frequencies and to really embody pure love through us commanding the healing and allowing this healing to evolve us into being more present and wakeful within our being and expressing that in the different spaces that we are exploring or that we find ourselves in. And so that's the main thing that I wanted to point out or add to um, piecing in where we are within this heptad. And so just keep that in mind, that on this plasma, we get the opportunity to really be present in all that we are. And the cosmic oracle reading will show us more insights as to how to really operate and flow through that process. And so, as we looked at the synchronized navigation map, you also notice that I have the Destiny Oracle for those three plasmas. And so I have mentioned that the Destiny Kin Oracle provides us with a fifth dimensional template so that we can sustain our cosmic synergy or our divine synergy as multidimensional beings. And so when we're looking at the Oracle board, there are the 20 archetypes within the Oracle board that is being reflected. So it shows us with what the energy of the emotional body is, the mental body, the physical body, as well as the spirit guide for that particular kin. And so each of the 20 archetypes all share four of those basic elements on the template. And so one thing that I want to mention and point out is that also when you're looking at the Oracle board, the blank box above is in correspondence to what the spirit guide position is. So those are blank depending on the galactic tone of that archetype. And so, for example, being that we are on the red spectral Skywalker, the spirit guide is also the red spectral Skywalker. And so it will vary depending on, the galactic tone of the different red Skywalkers as to what archetype will be in that position. And so I just wanted to point out where the template is for the red Skywalker. As you can see, all the red Skywalkers will have the white world bridger in the physical body, which holds the position of supporting us holding the focus as the Skywalker. In the emotional body, we have the yellow star, which is it's like the fuel for us. So like that's the gas in our car. I did want to mention that the physical kin is like the car that we're in, and the kin in the center is the driver or the one that's navigating or holding the focus. So on the left, we have the blue knight. Excuse me. On the left, we have the blue knight as the mental body, which helps us to overcome different challenges, to strengthen our mindset, and as we go through the different obstacles that we may encounter along our journey. And the spirit guide in the above position is like the GPS for us that helps us to direct ourselves in our focus. So as you look at it from the mindset of a synchronized, definitely look at it from the standpoint of the energy that you embody is the driver, and the consciousness that you embody as the driver, so that you can navigate through your experience. And you will understand more of that as I get into the oracle reading. So the next thing I want to talk about is looking at the significance of the different words within the Galactic Signature. So we are on Kin 193, the red spectral Skywalker. The first word, the color in the beginning, that is the color code that corresponds to um, the pattern that's similar to the different heptads. So the red talks about the knowledge that initiates view. So as we come into new knowledge, it activates us to see things from a different perspective. That is what the red symbolizes. And then the Skywalker is the solar seal. So the whole solar seal is called the red Skywalker. And the archetype that relates to it is called the prophet. And so this is the creative power of space that explores wakefulness. So as we explore the different spaces around us, or, as we explore different things, we come into new knowledge that helps to shift our perspective on our experience. And so that is the creative power that the red Skywalker brings. It also helps us to, have space consciousness and be just aware of the energy that's moving about the different spaces that we're in. And that's how we can see different patterns and cycles and tap into the prophetic aspect of the red Skywalker. And so the word in the center, that will let you know what the galactic tone is. I like to look at the galactic tone as the vibration that the archetype moves in, or the vibration of the creative power. So the spectral tone is um, it relates to being able to dissolve in liberation. So it's just like when you're mixing sugar into water, like it becomes one mixture. So it's saying like we have to become one, or it's encouraging us to become one with the liberation that um, we are infusing into the spaces. And therefore, we're able to release ourselves, release our wakefulness in those spaces. And so that is the breakdown for the red spectral Skywalker. One more thing that I want to mention about the wakefulness. Um, my favorite way of explaining what wakefulness is like being fully present and aware that you are in a moving vessel. So it's just like when you're laying there, or you're just sitting there with your eyes closed and you're paying attention to your inner, um, it's like the inner awareness, the inner presence, and just being tapped into um, the consciousness within you. Being able to recognize that you are awake. You know what I'm saying? You're not like in a daze or anything. You're not like spaced out. Like you're fully present in all that you are and experiencing. And so the red spectral Skywalker is again part of the blue night wave spell. And so just to tie this all in, I have did a remix to the affirmation to include the wave spell attributes. And so it reads, I dissolve my abundance in order to explore. That means that we're becoming one with the fact that we are divinely abundant, and allowing that awareness, or that being fully present in that knowing, in order to explore the different spaces that awakens and feeds into us being able to create our vision by releasing that presence and being wakeful in that knowing. And so the next line says, I seal my express output of space. So as you meditate, even on those first two lines, that's helping you to lock in on how you want to express um, your divine abundance through your wakefulness in all of the spaces that you're in. And so we do that with the spectral tone of liberation. So again, that's us liberating the wakefulness that we are divinely abundant. And the very last line says, I am guided by my own power of space doubled. And I just put times two. So that just also lets you know that we are also being guided by the red spectral Skywalker as well. So um, by us holding in onto that focus, there are different ways that we can connect with this, where I have came up with two questions to help us to really start getting into the mindset of this focus. So the first question that I have is, are you creating space for yourself to practice being fully present? So it I feel like the best way to get into that practice is when you're at home, with yourself, and, you free up space and time for you to really just sit there and be present, to be tapped in to how you're feeling, what you're thinking, and, being aware of your body and things like that. And so I asked that question, are you creating space for yourself to practice this? And so this Destiny Oracle that we'll be getting into can show you how to practice that if you are looking into different ways to improve doing that for yourself. The second question that I have is, how can you liberate your presence or being present in the opportunities that's helping you to create your vision? So by practicing being present, when you're in different opportunities or when you come into different opportunities to create your vision, how can you liberate being fully present in that moment to actually create it, to explore it? Because sometimes I feel like this question is a big one to look at, because sometimes when we are invited to different opportunities, sometimes we can be overthinking, or we're not being fully present in the moment to really get into the creative power that we are, or that we embody. So this question helps us to look at how can we be more present in those opportunities so that we can create that vision. And so as you think on those questions, I do want to share a one-line affirmation to help us to hold the focus, which states, I am releasing my wakefulness to explore and liberate the divine abundance of my vision. We are releasing our wakefulness to explore and liberate the divine abundance of our vision. Ashe, Ashe, and Ashe-yo. And so now we're going to get into the cosmic oracle reading so that we can see how we can practice being more present, and how we can liberate that presence or being present in those opportunities. And so the central frequency that we're tapping into or focusing on today is dissolving the liberation. So like becoming one with being present so that we can release being present, so that we can carry out the mission of this wave spell. So that is the focus in the center. I've already mentioned that we're also being guided by the red spectral Skywalker. So as we continue to hold the focus of exploring the spaces that we're in and being fully present in those spaces, that is the direction that we want to move in and stay mindful of as we go throughout this plasma. I like to jump down to the emotional body, because that's like the gas in our car that's motivating us to stay focused. And so for that position, we have the yellow electric star. And this is tied to the motivation, like what's motivating us to explore these different spaces. So one thing that can motivate us is by looking at the art that we want to create. Like, what is it that we want to create, and actually bonding with that and finding ways to be more elegant in the way that we express ourselves in different spaces. So like, how can you be elegant in being present? How can you be graceful in being present? So one thing personally for myself that I've noticed is taking breaths and breathing, being able to regulate like how passionate I may be about something, and breathing as I express myself. So look at what can help you to be more elegant in the way that you're creating and being present in your experience, and really bond with the art of it. Like, what is the practice of it? That's one thing I found to be dope, is that art is the practice of something, right? So get into the practice of it. Over on the left side, this again is the mental body, which helps us to overcome different challenges. So the challenge that we are, or that the Destiny Oracle is showing us that can be a challenge, is being tapped into our abundance and releasing our intuition. Um, One thing I appreciate about the Blue Knights is that it reminds me of that quote, like, if you can dream it, you can create it. Um, so it's like, okay, if you allow yourself to get into the dream state of how you see yourself. Um, 1 second, I was having a lot of downloads coming in. Um, mm, One moment. Okay, so let me bring it back to one of the questions. Like, how can you create space for yourself and practice being fully present? One thing that can show you how present you are is it'll awaken you to more dreams. Like, you'll start daydreaming while still being physically, there in the moment, right? So as you allow yourself to dream, that can help you to see or be connected to your intuition as well, just by being present in that moment. And then when it comes to being present in different opportunities, it's like, as you're sitting and experiencing the opportunity, allow your intuition to show you what you can create in those moments. Like, what do you want to bring into that experience to really put your presence into the collective vision that you may be engaging with or collaborating with others on, if that makes sense. So depending on, what space you may be in, whether you're at home by yourself or you're sharing space with other people, that can show up in different ways for you, as far as like how your intuition may show up. And last but not least, on the right side, this is the position of the physical body, which is there to support everything, that all the energy that has been generated in those other areas that we just talked about. So you can physically create it, or physically reflect on it around you in the different spaces and things like that. And so we have the white spectral world bridger, which is there to support us. And it says that or the energy focuses on equalizing depth. So that's saying that, okay, what can I let go of? Um, like, how can I really tap into the fact that I am, or that we are immortal beings, and continue to be that, and let go of different things that may not be aligned to what we want to create in the spaces that we are focusing on creating. I feel like I said that kind of weird, but may that you are still flowing with me. And so as we sit in that reflection of, looking at what we can let go of, so that we can bring in new opportunities, that is what the white spectral world bridge is showing us. Is like, in order to create something new in a space, we have to make space for the newness to come in. And so when we make that space, we're able to release and put out that opportunity there. So one thing that I would say here is like, especially like if it comes to you creating space for yourself, you may have to let go of something. So like, say that, you typically have a busy schedule, and like, there are spaces in time to create space. Okay, wait, let me there are spaces within your day that you can make time for yourself. So as you surrender to that space, then you now have the opportunity to actually bask in practicing being fully present with yourself. Similar to when it comes to liberating um, or sharing your presence in different opportunities. You got to recognize moments that you may have to be quiet for a moment until you get that space and time to really reflect and show yourself. And so, even in those moments, just being fully present enough to be aware of like the different moments where you get the opportunity to really show up in all that you are in that moment. And so collectively, when we put all of this energy together, we can now tap into the harvest of it and really model the intuition that we receive just by being fully present. And through that, we get to harmonize our divine intelligence and really reflect that as elegant art and be fearless in our expression of it. And so, with that, that is the Cosmic Oracle reading for us on this plasma. And so, just a quick reminder before we close out of our main focus, which is we are releasing our wakefulness to explore and liberate the divine abundance of our vision. And so, with that, I'll end off this reading by sending you all my love, my gratitude, and may that you enjoy your creation in every single moment of now. I highly encourage you to practice being present today. And so with that, in Lakesh Alaken, I shall talk to y'all later. Stay peace.